before cutting the top, you want to make sure you brush the hair to the wave direction. Now let's look at his wave pattern. His wave pattern is very long, so anything less than a number 2 will not give him the wave pattern. This is the next section we will be working on with the 3.5. Make sure you stay below this guideline. Now you want to close your number 3 guard. We're going to work in the same section but a little bit lower than the previous section you worked on. Now this is going to be the initial guideline for the low fade. When creating this first guideline, you want to go 1 centimeter above the ear and make sure your blade is flat against the scalp so you're not creating a harsh guideline. You can see I'm using my left hand to hold this here so it doesn't get in my way. Make sure your lines are very clean, the canvas is clean, you get every little hair. Next step will be to remove weight. We're going to remove the weight by using a comb. Here's a diagram that shows you how to use the comb. You're going to only use the bottom of the comb to lift up the hair, and we're going to be cutting at a horizontal sections. The best way to hold your clipper is to hold it above your palm. Use your thumb and pointing finger to keep the clipper steady. When removing weight, you want to hold your comb at a 45-degree angle. I want you guys to pay close attention the way I am tilting the comb, the way I'm using the comb. If you look closely, I'm using the comb to lift the hair, and I'm only cutting the bottom of the comb just the way I showed you guys in the diagram. This will be our second guideline. We will create this guideline with our clipper open about 3/4 of an inch up. Make sure your blade is flat against the scalp. When creating that guideline, you want to scoop out towards you. Make a side note that your client's head should be parallel to the ground. By doing this, you're going to have more of an even fade all the way around his head. This will be the second part of the clipper over comb. We created a guideline in the diagram. You want to stay below this section. You will need your clipper open to remove this weight. I think this area is very hard for some barbers. A lot of people ask me, Kike, how do you see the dark areas? So look at the diagram. That's what I see when I'm looking at his hair. I'm trying to point out the dark spots, and I'm gonna try to make that dark spot softer. Make sure that you don't leave your combs in the barber side. A lot of people leave their combs on the barber side, and that kind of messes up the smoothness of your comb. Here's a diagram of our next section. You guys see the guideline I created in the diagram. We're going to start with our number 2 guard open and work our way down. It is very important to learn how to control your fade. Now you want to close your number 2 guard and attack that same guideline that we just previously attacked. Lately I've been using wireless clippers for wave haircuts, and I think it's a lot easier to control your clipper without the wire. The next step is you want to grab your number 3 guard, close it, and just attack all the little dark areas to smooth out the fade. Now this is where I'm really working on the fade, and when I'm using my clipper, I'm only using the corner of the clipper, like probably about 2 teeth on the guard. Now grab your number 2 guard open and just keep attacking the same section you were working on, and just look for the dark spots. By looking for the dark spots, you're making your blend look softer. Now if you're having difficulty on finding dark areas on the head, I want you to start looking or start using your mirror. Your mirror is another tool you could use. Grab your number 1 guard and open it, and now we're gonna try to pretty much make that second guideline we created. That guideline disappeared, and by making it disappear, you're only gonna be using the corner of your machine. As you can see, I'm playing with the lever. I will close it, open it, close it, open it, and I'm really listening to the hair. Now before completing your fade, what you want to do is work on your edge up. By working on the edge up first, you're making the darker areas pop on the fade. When you're attacking the fade, you're going to be able to see the darker areas a lot easier. When trying to achieve the arches on the side, you want to try to make them as natural as possible, but sometimes there is clients that you would have to push back a little bit. What I like to do is I like to use this pencil to kind of make this line that I'm making on the arches a lot smoother, so I'll have a little bit more control using the pencil. And now I'm using my SlimLines to blend in the pencil I just used. So my trimmers are not set to 0-0 gap, they are more set to just cut the hair, and I do a lot of the detail with the razor. You want to make sure you use your left hand to stretch the skin. Grab your 0 guard, open it all the way. Now we're going to attack that second guideline again. Just remember guys, that when you are doing detail work or you are working on your fade, you just want to use the 2 teeth on the corner of the blade. I'll let you guys know that this clipper, it is modified. It's modified with the Andis Blade, and the guards I am using are by Andis. If you look really closely, I'm not trying to cut the hair against the grain. What I'm trying to do is attack it at an angle so my plastic guard can lift the hair and it will actually cut it. This is why I'm a big fan of the Andis guards, because the wall guards are made more rounded, so it's kind of a little bit more difficult to lift the hair. When using the 0 guard, I like to start on one side and work my way to the other side. So when using the corner of your clipper, if you notice my hand, my wrist is the only thing that's going up and down. I'm not moving my whole arm, it's just a wrist action. This is probably my favorite part of detailing. As you can see, this is a taper comb. This comb is made by Morono1 on Instagram. If you guys want to purchase it from him, go to his website and purchase it. I highly recommend this comb. It's an amazing comb, the best comb out there. And you can see that one side is bigger than the other side, but this side where I'm using in the video is perfect for the getting rid of that second guideline that you created. Now let's take a look at this next diagram. This is my shaver guideline. You want to use the shaver all the way up to this guideline. It's about 1 centimeter from the initial guideline. Now I'm using my Bruan 7 series shaver. This is a big shaver, so I only use it on the back. Here's another Bruan shaver. This is a lot smaller. It's about 1 head. This shaver is pretty much for all my detail work with the shaver. So that space that we left, we want to go downwards with the shaver to make that transition smoother. Now right here we're going to enhance this edge up. I do use Beijing premix, and this is a painting brush. All you want to do is apply a little bit and then just blend it in towards the hair, as you can see in the video. You don't need too much of it, and this dye will last about 2 to 3 days. Now we're gonna try to blend out that first initial guideline with your clipper open. If you guys pay attention, I use a lot of different angles when I'm cutting or when I'm fading in the hair. Now you want to grab your trimmers and pretty much blend the shaver part into your fade by only using the corner of your trimmers. Now I'm using my Hanzo texture shears, and again I'm using the comb to lift the hair, and the reason I'm using my texturizing shears instead of my thinning shears is because I don't want to remove too much of the bulkiness. I just want a tiny bit. Since these shears are a lot separated than the thinning shears, it only takes a little bit amount of hair. This is the last part of the fading. This is where all the detail work goes into the fade, and all the detail work you do will show on the fade. It will make it a lot more blurrier, the blurry effect that you are looking for. I'm really not going to go into detail on how to do an edge up, but the way I start my edge ups, I start from the side and work on the other side and then just connect them towards the middle, as you can see what I'm doing in the video. He does have very wavy hair in the front, so you got to be a little bit careful. If you want to put a little bit more detail into the hair, grab your clippers, close them, and freehand the top of the hair. Pretty much all you're trying to do is get all the little hairs that are sticking up on the hair on top, and by doing this you're making everything a lot smoother. By you doing this, you're showing the client that you are very detailed. I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think of the video. Let me know what you guys want to see next in the videos. Thank you. Subscribe.